Next in the rankings, I've got the Bash Brothers. I've got them just above the Los Harpecitos, and here's why, okay? Los Harpecitos, 477.3 points for, 476.8 against, a level 0.4 points against. Bash Brothers, 522 and 522. So he's roughly scored 50 more points for, and he's had 50 more points scored against him. I believe that the Bash Brothers roster is really very solid if you look at it. Jared Goff, Ezekiel Elliott, Josh Jacobs has been good, could be better. Chris Godwin's been phenomenal. And then Evan Ingram is good, and with the advent of Daniel Jones is going to be phenomenal. And then as you look down here, Devin Singletary is going to be healthy, and Kerryon Johnson's on his bench. He also picked up A.J. Brown and out-wavered a few people to get him. He's got a very nice team. Could this be the year that the unauthorized Bash Brothers get themselves out of the dumpster and into the playoffs? Bash Brothers coming in at 4. The pressure's going to be too much. They'll fold like lawn chairs, but it's a nice feeling right now. Coming in at 3, the most underachieving team on our rankings is May Kamara Great Again. Okay, and 568 points for, that is second only to the Lego Men, but 556 points against, so people are going off against him. We look at the roster, the GOAT, Kamara, Fournette, Watkins, Tate, Trey Burton's terrible, Aaron Jones, Patriots D, and what more can be said about the Patriots D? 25, 15, 36, 9, points allowed, 3, 0, 2, 10. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's the best defense maybe we've seen in the last 5 years. Excuse me. And then on the bench, Marvin Jones Jr., Aaron Rodgers, Duke Johnson, Shady McCoy, Chris Conley. I think he's got the deepest team, and I think he's got the team that has the most firepower. 21 points projected, 16, 15, 15, 12. He's got 12 points projected from his defense. I don't have a running back that's projected to score that high. So I think that they come in at 3, but I don't view Ryan Durkin as somebody who really understands the game of football. I know that he quit early on with the Wild Boars, and so I think he missed out on a couple of things that, you're going to, he's going to miss some things that might be caught by the people who are right around him, the Bash Brothers, Los Harpecitos, Justice, and the Lego Men, who, you've got a varsity wide receiver, you got a varsity quarterback, you got a varsity tight end, and a collegiate football player, and then a fairly serviceable high school cornerback in Team Zozel. So I see him, not to mention a great defensive end in Dayton Smith. So I think what you see with Make America Great Again is a very talented roster. My question is his judgment in waiver pickups, as well as who to start and who to sit. So I think he's going to make some mistakes in that way, and I think he's going to really underachieve. And my hope is that he gets the right advice he needs and finds himself in the playoffs where he belongs. Moving on. Justice for All. Justice for All, undefeated, our only undefeated team, but got him ranked second because of points for. As we look at points for, he's only got 549.3 points for. That is, let's see here, 1, 2. That is only third in points for, whereas points against, he's a little bit lower. He's right around 500. That's close to some teams that are middle of the road, so people haven't quite had the best day against him, myself included. So we look at his team: James White, Austin Eckler, Odell Beckham, Julian Edelman, Julio Jones. It's sort of smoke and mirrors. He picked up Antonio Brown, kind of demonstrating that he is willing to do anything and everything within his power to win this league, which is cool, but also kind of disgusting when you think about the things that Antonio Brown's done. But obviously 4-0. Hard to argue with that. Melvin Gordon's coming back. Austin Eckler's production is going to go down, I would assume. Julio Jones and Matt Ryan having a terrible season. As we look at Julio, 9 points last week, 9, 26, 27, 15. Not having as good of a season. Could Julio Jones be on the down tick of his career? We'll see. I don't think he's exactly going to have a drop-off like Roddy White. I think he is going to be an all-timer, but... And as we also look at concerning things from Odell, OBJ not escalating with Humphrey. This is football, not MMA. I'm not sure what all that's about. The guy choked him. He punched him. Whatever. 4, 11, 14. Obviously, OBJ position rank 25. A little bit disappointing here in 2019, but unbelievable foresight by Darwin to draft Kyler Murray, who's been solid 34, 27, 29, 25. He has had a more consistent season than Deshaun Watson. So Darwin coming in second and number 1 in the power rankings at 3-1, 592.5 points scored, an astounding amount. The Lego Men. Lamar Jackson, David Montgomery, Ronald Jones, Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, Austin Hooper, Calvin Ridley, the Bears D, and Brett Maher, Kenny Golladay on the bench, and a bunch of trash. He has been absolutely phenomenal in 2019, but my prediction is he takes a step back moving forward, and I believe he will fall to 2-2. Something new we're doing this week is the matchups of the week. We look at Patty Hockenson, 2-2, facing Folding Landry. I think that's going to be a close matchup. Squeezed out a victory probably by Hennessy in the end. We've got the 2-2 Bums against the 3-1 Harper Cetos. Look for the Bums to bounce back and get the victory there. New Gumball Season 1-3, playing Make America Great Again. Look for New Gumball Season to fall to 1-4 and Make America Great Again to move to 3-2. I like the Lego Men over Team Zozel. Team Zozel is absolutely falling. Also, they haven't changed their abbreviation from Schroeder's name. Justice for All. I like Justice for All to fall at the hands of Hillary Clinton Dix. I think Clinton Dix is in line to head to 3-2 and move up in the power rankings. They currently are at 7. I like them at 4 next week. Team Oswood. Look for Team Oswood to etch out a victory against Mr. Jade Glennon without probably even checking or setting his lineup. That's just the kind of luck he has, and Mr. Jade Glennon is tanking for the win. Here in the final matchup, the Bash Brothers versus Team Slexy. I like the Bash Brothers. I like this matchup as my marquee matchup of the week. You got Zeke Elliott versus Dalvin Cook. You got Josh Jacobs versus Marvin Ingram, whatever that game is, Mark Ingram. You've got Godwin versus Jeffrey, Robinson versus Fuller. I think those are almost the exact same player. They almost are the exact same person. There's Demarcus Robinson. There's Will Fuller. They're almost the same guy. And then Ingram and Ebron, the E's, Hilton and Robbie Anderson, dreads, thin, small, wiry wide receivers. It's a great matchup, and you've got two of the best kickers in the game in Mason Crosby and the best kicker in the game, Justin Tucker. Look at that face. He looks like a serial killer. Those have been the rankings. Those have been the matchups. We'll see you tomorrow morning for 7 hours of continuous football coverage. Gentlemen, it is the pleasure, nigh the privilege of me to be your commissioner, and I look forward to a victory this week against Tennessee.